K-pop is probably the best way to answer this question because think about it, a music group made for the Korean audience somehow influenced an entire generation of Americans, Europeans, Asians, well basically the entire world. Well, in the tech world, it's pretty much the reverse. So in the case of the smartphones, it's the iPhone which is pretty much amazing, and ironically, again, a Korean company Samsung with their Galaxy S series, and both these phones get everyone hyped almost every time it releases, but with a major issue. That issue is region pricing, partly due to import taxes. Suddenly, you're paying way too much for just a brand as that same phone is not worth the price considering and comparing to the amazing options outside the big names. And that's basically why I'm here trying to explain how to buy an Android smartphone in 2022, because it's not exactly as simple as it seems. To explain this in an easier way, let's look at an interesting scenario. So in the USA, the Motorola Edge 30 Pro, known as the Edge Plus, is $999. For that, you get the 4nm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, 8GB RAM and 512GB storage. Now the iPhone 13 Pro is about the same $999, but it's a smaller phone and it only has 128GB of storage. Now that might seem unfair, but considering the Apple's iOS efficient ecosystem, you could survive with the 128GB, although the 512GB is just about only $200 more. I mean, not that much of a difference. The 256GB is $100 more, so that could be a good option as well. But let's be honest, you're going to get way more out of the iPhone than with the Motorola. I mean, there's no denying in that. The Motorola is missing a telephoto lens, which is surprising for a flagship, and its Android OS will only be updated for 2 years. And there are numerous smaller quirks making it a harder buy compared to the iPhone or the Samsung, or its Chinese counterparts. Now, fly to India or Thailand. Well, I'm in India, so we'll stick with India here. The Motorola Edge 30 Pro is 49,999 rupees for the 8GB RAM with the 128GB storage. The iPhone 13 Pro on the other hand is 119,000 rupees for the same 128GB storage. In dollars, the difference is 920. 3 times the price difference, but the iPhone, let's be honest, simply isn't 3 times better. And I started to notice a lot more positives about the Motorola at this point. It's got a similar OLED screen with a faster 144Hz refresh rate. And although not the better Dolby Vision support, the HDR10 Plus is still a good certification to have. And it's what all TVs have, so I mean, yeah. You get 68W fast charging with USB-C and DisplayPort 1.4, and obviously it's the cheapest Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 phone you can get, scoring third in the Antutu scores as well, with the 12GB RAM. Camera wise, probably the biggest is that it's got a 60MP selfie camera, which is much better than the Android and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 counterparts out there. But here's the thing when it comes to camera. A camera is going to do a much better job than a smartphone, like a literal camera. And with that said, you can get the Sony ZV-1 and the Motorola Edge 30 Pro for 117,989 rupees, and the extra 3,000 rupees for a premium memory card, but you can go cheaper. Now compared to the iPhone 13 Pro's price, which is 119,000, and obviously you'll probably have to pay more for wires, a case, there's a lot more here you'll probably have to pay for that. And so considering all that, in every scenario where you also own a laptop or a PC, the Sony ZV-1 and the Motorola Edge 30 Pro combination makes way more sense than an iPhone 30 Pro. Obviously you have to get into editing and stuff, but again, you're getting better quality stuff for just about the same price as an iPhone 13 Pro. In the US this isn't the case easily because I mean the Sony ZV-1 is $749, and basically now that combination goes way out of the iPhone's budget. Now you can go cheaper than the Motorola Edge 30 Pro, but for 2022 you want the 4nm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. I mean, has the competition caught up? Yes, but in a bid to catch the Snapdragon, the competition forgot something called AI exists. The 4nm Snapdragon chip has made huge AI gains, and more about it on Mr. Who's the Boss's video. But this is one of the reasons why you can now have a 60 megapixel selfie camera that works pretty much just as well as the camera behind the phone. And it's also why I'm vouching for the Motorola Edge 30. There is also the 4nm mediatek Dimensity 9000 phones that you should be looking at if you want raw power over the Snapdragon's AI improvements. So that's how I would buy a smartphone in 2022. Well, more specifically, an Android smartphone. And you should too. It's either 4nm or wait for the 4nm to get cheaper. And with a bit of creative will and a laptop, it's better to combine a full-on compact camera to a smartphone purchase in 2022, especially if you live in Asia and you want that camera advantage that the iPhone dearly has. However, if the Sony ZV-1 is not in your interest, basically you don't want to carry a compact camera around, maybe the Mi 12 Pro and the iQOO 009 Pro should be on your mind, but there's also more Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 phones coming in the future. Again, the smartphone market kind of shifts very quickly, so this video might be irrelevant in about 2 months time. But until then, this is the case, and hope this helps. and I will see you with another how to buy guide soon if you guys show interest in these kinds of videos.